was the first thing they took me off of a couple of medicine. They said it's normal now.
That's great.
Yeah, that was real good.
That's
to hear.
fantastic.
That was very good news.
That is fantastic. So Jake, I've been thinking a lot about all of our conversations.
Well, if you think, then I can't think.
Is there anything that you've thought of that we've been talking that you haven't shared that you want to share? I've thought about that today.
I think I told you just the basic about everything, and then it develops into big things. But
That's what's
not
great.
one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. When we last left off, Jake, we talked a lot about one of the things that I thought about a lot, which I was very proud about, was your faith and how you really care about blessing the business, and you keep a nice memento there to bless the business.
Yeah,
And I really
I don't share it with anybody.
that was incredible. I mean, it gave me a lot of good feelings inside.
Yeah, let me go back a little bit. That you are born and you are raised and you are told that you are a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu, and you follow the faith blindly. But we are a little bit fortunate than lot of Muslims because we are a very small sect, and our priest right from the beginning adopted that everyone who is following the how should say the branch, one of the branches of the trees, will have to learn and know what the religion is all about. So every year we meet, and for 30 days and then 10 days we fast, we pray, and we sit down and listen to our elders.
Do you do that in India when you go to India?
Yes, we do it here also.
Oh,
We've
you
got
do it
a
here.
mosque here.
So when do you do it here?
Well, when Adam is available.
Okay, good. So in thinking about this, I felt it was a powerful thing to leave these types of thoughts with the grandchildren, with good family and friends, of something that I think, you think is very important to the well-being of your life.
That's the way I was raised, that you help.
You help everybody.
Yeah. This is one of the teaching, that you help people who need help.
Hmm.
And I think it's a very good thing, but we cheat.
We all cheat.
As usual.
Yeah, we all cheat. Let me ask you, Jake, how difficult was it culturally when you came to the United States for you?
To tell you the truth, let me go back and give you the history of our country. We are one of the biggest countries in the world, population-wise.
The biggest, I think.
No, I think China is the
Is it?
biggest.
Okay.
And what what has been taught to us is that if people, relatives you know are in trouble, you have to go and help them. Now, it's one of the best teaching, but not a single goddamn man follows it
Mm.
because they cheat. But the bringing the ideas are here and we are here.
Following them
Yeah,
is difficult.
it's we have got a beautiful set of rules, but we don't follow.
So you do your best.
Uh, we do our best to cheat. Okay.
Okay. Can you give me an example?
Well, like during the month of Ramadan, 30 days we are supposed to fast from sun up to sundown. And very few people do it. Adam and I did it 1 year, but that was it.
It's very hard.
Very hard. The thing, what I want to bring it to your attention is being from a country not as prosperous, not as educated, not as outgoing,
Wealthy.
wealthy. I think we have always, our priests have taught us one thing which we don't do it, is to help your neighbor.
Mm.
And that is a very, very big thing. And I think in your religion it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And the other religion I have talked to people is the same, to help the people in need.
Community.
Yes. And that is, if I can do that 1/100th of a percent, I think I'm doing good.
No, that's very admirable. I think in this world we work out for ourselves instead of taking care of others.
Yes, we cheat.
Yes, that's a good point. We cheat. We cheat. I have a question for you. You know, as you came here culturally, did you ever feel like people treated you incorrectly or racist or anything like that? Did you ever feel that or?
To tell you the truth, no. Because wherever I went, I was more qualified than they were
You were more prepared,
in education
so you worked harder too.
and work hard. And when I came to Los Angeles, I went to an engineering firm and they said, we'll use you as a draftsman, though I had a master's degree in engineering. And I worked a year as a draftsman. And a lot of friends of mine, about 13 of them came to Los Angeles. They had design job, they had this job, this. And they always would say, hey, you come to our office and we'll get you a better job. I said, hell with it. I'm going to. Then I went to visit India and came back, and that's when I changed the jobs. And I started to do the design work.
And so is there some sort of lesson that you learned there? That it was good for you to take your time to before you found the next job, or
Yes, you see, most of the people, they are at the base of the steps, but they think they are on the top. And our parents taught us, you take one step at a time. And when you get to the top, you'll know.
you'll know every step.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's, we, we were brought up a little bit different than a lot of people, uh, family, because we all were hard workers and we succeeded throughout.
What would you say were the challenges you had early on when you just got married with your family?
Well, to tell you the truth, actually I didn't have any challenge because I always had a job and I performed and they liked me.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So you marry Lou. You have two beautiful children. And can you talk to me a little bit about your thoughts on you had a job, how much money did you save, how did you know when to buy a house, that sort of thing. How did you manage your money?
Uh,
There's a lot of lessons there.
yeah, I had a friend, a very good friend, who passed away as a very young man. We became very good friends and he used to give me a lot of advice about what is America all about. And I used to tell him how we went about and we combined ourselves and always came up with that I never had a problem having a job. And the other thing is, whenever I promise somebody, like the people who work for me, they are all being taken care of. There was not a single person who said that I cheated. And that is the biggest thing my family taught me. When you make a promise, keep it.
Your word is your bond.
Yes.
So
And I try to still do it. Like I tell Adam and Tammy, the same thing. I mean, you have to help, and they do.
yeah. So how can you explain a little bit how you made your investments, how you early on you weren't making very much money, you had a family, did you save a certain percentage? How did you operate your finances?
Okay, I'm going to go back to what my father told me in the shop. He said, I've got a shoebox and there are two pieces on the shoebox. One piece goes in one box, the other piece goes in the other box. When you sell something, you put it in one box. When you owe something, you put it in the other box. And at the end of the day or the week, you make sure that the, the money you take in is more than the money you get it out. And if it's not working, then you go and get extra work.
To make this box have more than the other
More
box.
than that. So it was a very simple proposition that you have to make enough money to pay your clients and yet live comfortably. Those are the bases. I think my kids have the same thing.
So along those lines as well, that's why you don't always you like to pay things off. You don't like to have debt.
Right away.
So if you buy, and I'm learning too from this, right? So if you buy something, a piece of real estate, you would try to pay it back as fast as possible.
Yes, I have still a friend who's retired. It's a Japanese accountant, Paul Fujita, who made me. He used to put a barrier every time I tried to go. One day, I don't know whether you remember or not, you can put $100 down and you got a real estate house
Yes, yes,
or a real estate apartment.
right.
And I would go there to his office and I say, hey, I found something real good and I got the money. He said, how much? I said, I've got a down payment. Not enough. I said, well, what the hell do you mean? Everybody borrows. Uh-uh. When you have enough to pay off, then I'll recommend you borrow. You buy. And that's how I got started. Everything I bought, it was paid for.
So you paid cash for everything you bought
Within a year.
within a year.
Like, you had problems. Like, I had one of the best person I had running the construction department, and he had lot of experience. In fact, he and I made this company. He came one day and he said, Jake, I got to look for another job. I said, I can't ask you to give me a raise or something because I'm making the top salary every time I turn around, you give me the money. So I said, what's the deal? He said, I have worked for people. He was one of the best construction person I ever met. And he said, I have constructed all these things for different people. And they gave me good money. So I said, what the hell are you crying about? He said, I'm going to tell you, I have never made $100,000 in my life in 1 year. I said, why? If you try hard, you'll be able to make it here. He said, no, I've got a better chance somewhere else. The only thing that held him up was the house.
His house.
Yes, his house. He didn't want to leave. But at the same time, my dad's teaching came in and said, if there is somebody who is honest and who you trust, like I used to tell him, "Yeah, you can be my partner any day. Treat him right." So I went to the bank, got $100,000 check, cashier's check. He came from the job site. I handed him the envelope. He opened it, put the check in, got up and left the office. Monday, he came back and I told him, I said, "I thought you had quit." He said, "No." I said, "This is the first time in my life I requested something from an employer and I got it, and I couldn't come to work." And that's not me. That was my dad.
That's great. It's fabulous.
His teaching. I have passed it on to Adam
Yeah, Adam is like that.
and Tammy
Hmm.
to help.
She is as well.
And this is the gist of my whole thing.
So
Money comes to me. You won't believe it.
You're blessed. Money comes to you,
Yeah.
and you know how to manage it.
Because I had the ability. I have the ability to work with people and to find out who is good and who is bad. So
Can you
all this
can you talk
development-
can you talk a little bit about what made you feel if they were good or if they were bad?
You see, again, my family's teaching, my father's teaching. You hire somebody and he comes and asks for a raise. You give it to him and then keep a track whether he's worth or not. If he's not worth, let him go. If he's worth, give him more. That's the simple principle I have followed here. Nobody quits over here.
Nobody.
No. When I was running it, there was not a single person who quit. Because if they needed something, I would give it to them. And that is not mine. It's
You learned
my
it.
teaching.
You learned it.
I learned it from what my dad used to do and tell us that
So let me summarize. So you would watch the employees, and if they were good, you'd keep them and give them more. But what would happen if the employee was taking advantage?
and to tell you the truth, there were some employees like that. And they went on their own, and I never stopped them. But there were just 3 or 4 who went, and one just retired, he ate Fisher, and his sons are doing the construction work also. But the main thing, what I want to emphasize, is when your elders say something, you don't say, "Oh, shit, he's an old man, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about." Now this is 90% of the people will tell you.
That's not true.
That's not true.
No, that's not true.
If you take it seriously, and I don't know how much Adam has, what I did So far, I haven't seen him higher and higher and fire and all that. He's following the same.
Oh yeah.
Tammy did the same thing. So I'm proud of them. It's simple. See, my, my family, my father never complicated the issue.
Simple.
Borrow from here, pay here, screw this guy, do this. It was always on board.
Simple.
It was simple and it always made money. Like Adam, he's very well off now.
Oh yeah. Did your family or your mother and father ever have any issues with you marrying an American woman?
Yeah,
They did.
they didn't like it.
No.
No. Uh, I have and to tell you the truth, if I was not in this country, I would have married and settled down over there. But over here, it's a different life.
So
I
how did
don't- I
so
don't
how
know
did you
whether it's
how
good.
did you choose differently? You could have married an Indian woman if you wanted to.
If I want, but I got drunk.
That's funny.
No, it's not funny. That's what we were doing. On Friday, Saturday, all we did was chase women and drunk. Now this is just between you and me.
No, that's interesting. And so you married your wife and your family was not happy.
Yeah,
Did they come to the wedding?
No family, no, they didn't come.
They didn't come.
I took her there, and we got married under Muslim laws also.
Okay. So and they
Yeah.
they wanted you to marry an Indian girl.
Yes, they were the same thing. I mean, it doesn't, and you know,
But you're a little you strike me you're a little like your father because your father didn't listen to everything people told him either, right?
yeah. And I did what I did, and I want to pass it on to my kid. The same thing my dad passed it on to me. Lot of people have said, hey, why don't you keep half the company? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I have no problem.
Where are you going to take it?
Yeah, we're doing it. And,
I mean, we can't take anything.
yeah, recently I have been thinking about putting the grandkids in line. And I was after Adam because his last kid, that
Taylor.
Taylor, well, what I will call it, was naked. She didn't have anything. And I didn't like it.
Mm.
So I've been after him. Finally he sat down, we worked it out. And last week, we brought up to the same scale as all the other grandkids.
That's beautiful.
Now I'm happy.
That's great. That's great. Your love for your family really shows. It's beautiful.
And you have to do it.
Yeah.
And
It's what you were taught.
like the couple of times Adam said, oh, they're my kids, I'll take care of that. I want to do what I want to do. And I did it. So, she is here, the rest of the kids here, we got her up there. Last week.
That's excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And she has the stock plan, she has the property plan, she is equal. It's one fourth, one fourth, one fourth, except for Finn. Finn gets special treatment. He needed it.
Yeah. Let me ask you another question. What do you admire about the fact that you had a blended Indian American family that is different from what you grew up with? What do you admire? What do you look at and say, you know, this is very very good, very well. My values are even better because of it.
You see, I have 7 brothers and 4 sisters, and multitude of relations. And they all got along very well. All they did is follow the instructions of their elders. And that is exactly what I did. Except getting married out of religion. But everybody makes a mistake, or everybody goes haywire and come back. And she is a Muslim now. She was married under a Muslim.
But she's
went to India.
you know, she's been a very good mother.
Yeah, she has been, and we tried. I mean, I tried to tell her how I wouldn't let her do the American style.
The American culture.
Yeah, and American maids and all that. I said, no, the kids come first, their education comes first. I put my teaching
On them.
to get them where they are.
That leads me.
Because Adam, he wanted to go become a high-ranking playboy, go to Spain, teach and have fun and all that. I said, no way, you're not going there.
I think you made the right decision.
Yeah, you'll have to ask him.
No, he will tell you he made the right decision.
I told him, I said, hey, you finish the education and you don't have to worry about the thing, it will be all paid for. The day you finish it, you get a trip around the world, you get this, you get that. The day he finished his master's, next week he was off.
Everybody needs a rudder.
Yeah.
You were his rudder.
I just did what I was taught to do.
Right. Let me ask you, what do you dislike about the American culture?
In one word, they are cocky,
Not humble.
not humble. And that's the bad part.
Yeah, that's very, yeah, I would agree.
That's what I don't like. It's a give and take.
Yeah.
And it's there if you work hard enough. I proved it.
I agree.
Adam proved it.
Yeah, Tammy proved it.
Yeah, Tammy proved it. But we made sure that they get the proper education. That was our thing.
So, Jake, if there were some things that you know you would like to tell your children, what not just your grandchildren, what would you like to tell your your older children, Tammy and Adam. Um, you know, because sometimes, you know, I'm looking at this like if I was talking to my father, and you know, the questions that I would ask my father, one of the questions I would ask him is, hey, you know, what did you want to tell me that didn't feel like you were telling me that I didn't understand that I now understand? Is there anything that you would want to tell your children other than all the values and everything that they already know?
No, to tell you the truth, I'm proud of my both kids. They did exactly and they did better than I did. The only thing which I disapproved and don't like it is the money got involved in it at the farm.
Mm,
That's the worst thing that has happened to this family.
mm. Money should never dictate the
Never
family.
should come in the picture.
Which when you were younger, money never.
No,
It was always dealt with.
it just came in as you progressed and you went out and got jobs and
But you know, Jake, I would think that some of that is the American culture. No, a little bit of that. Everybody wants to see what
no,
everyone has.
to tell you the truth, I followed American culture all the way.
Hmm.
I competed. That means I was doing the right thing. I was outsmarting the Americans.
Right. Using your values and still their values
Yeah.
and beating them.
Like I had people, I treated them like my father had treated his employees as brothers and sisters rather than as servants.
Mm.
And he got the benefit, I got the benefit.
Mm.
And I told both Adam and Tabby the same thing.
So, what would be your advice to Adam, to Tammy, about how they do moving forward with their kids so that money doesn't get in the middle of their relationship?
To tell you the truth, they know it because of the fight. So, so they'll do a much better job than I did.
Mm.
They already know it. And for one more thing, that they never had to worry about where the money is coming from. I try to provide that.
Same as your father did for you.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference, I think.
Yeah, it's a family.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons I was upset because Taylor was not taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And you want it to be equal.
I wanted her equal. So about 2 weeks back we sat down, we did it. Now I don't have any problem.
That's great. That's fantastic. So, Jake, I want to ask you another question. When you were growing up, you know, as a kid, what were your thoughts on business?
Nothing.
You didn't think about it.
No, because we thought that we'll just move into the family business.
But didn't you have to learn the business? Did you have to work at the business?
We were, on weekends and all that, we used to go and help in the shop.
What would you have to do?
Oh, sell things, pencils, paper.
So you had a little store?
You have a big store.
Big store. That's interesting. And the store sold everything.
We're still there.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's great grandkids have it.
And it's still running.
Yeah, it's still running.
You're kidding. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Do you know- do you
but
know-
it's divided. It's not as big a store as it used to be
be.
because all the people got separated.
The family took different parts of the store. That's interesting.
Some of my family are very rich, some are medium, some are hurting. That's the way of life.
So the family. So now, what's different though? Now though, if there's family that's hurting, do you guys take care of that family that's hurting or no?
If I was in India, I think they help each other.
They do help each other.
Yeah.
So when you go to India, what is the feeling for you? Because you go to India every year, right, for a couple months?
I do. I go there to bullshit and get drunk.
And
Tell you the truth.
enjoy your family.
Yep.
And do you feel? What does it feel like when you do you like it? Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
So it's fun for you.
You eat cloves.
I never have, but I will. I'll try it. You just eat it?
Yep.
Oh, good. Just eat it. It's like mint. Wow, strong too.
Yeah.
Good.
Very strong. It's one of the ingredients for cooking. But
Okay, so
it keeps your mouth clean.
so can you kind of tell me the story of Deb Construction?
To tell you the truth, take any big companies like Bullock's, Sears, May Company, started small and grew to be big. We followed the same thing.
But how did you decide to have your own company? How did you decide you wanted to have your own company?
Have what?
How did you decide, Jake, how did you decide I'm going to do my own company?
Oh, because I was here.
So you were here, but
I mean, there was nobody else, so I had to do it.
but you said you were working as a draftsman, and then you got another job. And then what happened? Then how did you start your own business?
Oh, moonlighting.
Can you talk about that?
Well, I worked with lot of people. They liked my way of design, my way of dealing. And they started to give me work on the side. And that's how I started.
So you would work during the day,
And I would work
at
on
night at
weekend.
home, and on the weekends.
I'll tell you a story about a weekend. When Adam and Tammy were growing up, everybody was skiing. And I had to get involved in it, and we used to rent our house and all that. Finally, I decided, hey, this is not working out. I mean, I'm paying $150, $200 for a weekend, and I said, why not buy a house? So I bought a house. Then I had a problem. There were a lot of motorcycle deaths and all that. Every kid wanted a motorcycle. So I got them two motorcycles, and the kids would drive their motorcycle all over Big Bear. Got rid of their feeling that, oh yeah, they have a motorcycle, they have a scooter, they have this. That's the way I was taught, and that's the way I tried to do it, and it worked out for me
Sure.
also.
Sure. So when you were moonlighting, at what point did you say, okay, I have enough business where I could start on my own? Do you remember what caused that, or did it just happen?
No, I was working for a firm, and it's a very bad part of it, but I'm going to tell you that. We were about 4 or 5 engineers working for him. One of the engineers fell ill and died. And his insurance, my boss took it because he discovered that he was moonlighting. And I tried to tell him that just about everybody does that. You did it in your life, and every one of us over here
Does it?
does it. He said, no, that's not right. Now, he got greedy, and he had $150,000 in that, he was not going to give it away. And that taught me a big lesson.
So you felt like I didn't want to work for him,
Yeah, that's when I quit.
and you quit.
Yeah, and I started my firm.
So did you? How much money did you have saved up to do that? And how much for the firm? How much money did you have?
Oh, I had quite a bit of money. My family had sent me lots of money.
Okay.
I had, I never had problem with money like a lot of people. For a few months, for a few days, I mean, I got in a bind or something, but I was always able to get, because I had done work for people, and I would never say, I need the money, I need the money. So when I needed it, I went over there and I said, hey, now I need it. So they always would give it to me.
But you also had a very good ability of making relationships with your customers, right?
Yeah, that's where this whole construction company came in.
So how did you do that? What gifts do you have for your relationships? What do you think it boils down to the rules that you just what you say you do, and that's
No, I was taught that somebody gives you the work, you do it the right way, and you ask for the money. And I followed the same problem. The construction business, I started with uh, designing mostly, not construction. I was designing structure. And one fine morning, one of my friend came in, hey, I've got a couple of walls to build, could you help me? I said, sure. So I designed the wall, I got the permit, and he finished it. I watched him, and it was part where I was doing in India, I mean my family. So I put two and two together, why not? Started construction.
that's great. And so you put two and two together and you built one wall, then you started building banks. Is that how you did the banks?
Yeah, I did. And to tell you the truth, the bank, the biggest bank customer is Mark Cohen. You met him.
Okay, I think so.
Uh, he was a project engineer. He had a contractor he liked back in the valley. Right near our office in Anaheim, a Bank of America, some lady backed into it and broke the column, and it became an emergency. So they they called him, we've got an accident and all that. So he called his contractor, and the contractor said, I just don't have anybody. It has to wait. I can't do anything. All I can do is go and shore it up and Mickey Mouse it. So one of the project manager, he was giving me some work over there. I started to work on construction with him. He said, this contractor is about 2 miles away, and in about 15 minutes you'll get it done. Oh, he said, well, give me his phone number and address. So he called me, Mark Cohen. He said, I've got an emergency, can you go there? I said, yeah, we can go there. So we went there, and in about a week it was all done, and a friendship started. And to that extent, that he would take away jobs from other contractors and give it to me because we did the right way. Beautiful looking buildings, never a complaint, never come back. And we became one of the best friends. He used to play golf together. You know him.
Yeah, do you still see him? Yeah.
He is one of the Adams advisors.
Okay. Oh, so he comes to help.
No, he comes for meetings.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a good friend.
Wow, that's interesting. And so that was, but that had to be one of the key customers that helped grow the business, right?
He started me, he gave me so much work I couldn't do it.
Really?
Then the northern office picked up and they said open a business because
How
I
did
was
you
doing
open?
that.
How did you decide to open the Northern?
Because they called me. I was doing such good work over here. She said, we'll give you some more work.
Wow. And so the big thing that I hear this, and it's, you basically have the American dream, your story, right?
Yeah.
It's the American dream.
Because the main thing is the American dream with my family's teaching,
Right.
that do it the right way.
Honor your
Only
word.
way. That put me in
Treat
the
people
limelight.
well. The employees, treat them well. Customers well.
There's no employee that left.
Right. And what was when you were running the business, what was the most people you had? Do you remember?
About 100.
That's a lot of people.
Oh, I had quite a bit big one.
That's a lot. Because now the business is a little different. You have more subs, correct?
Yeah, we had subs.
You did?
But you see, I was fortunate. They would call, they were contractors. Like over here, they're still contractors. The Evans and Armstrong and people like Mark, there were about 4 or 5 people working for Mark, and they would call them, say, hey, I've got a job in Fresno. Could you go and do it? No. Los Angeles, and that's it. So they started to call me. He said, hey, I've got a job in Fresno, can you do it? Yeah, I can do it, but it's going to cost you a little bit more money because I have set up and all that. He said, you finish it and send me the bill and I'll pay it. So I started, the first job was about $18,000, and I said, the hell with it. So I had doubled the money, 36,000. The check came within a week, and about 6 more ATM jobs in that area. You do it. And that got me started.
That's crazy. That's a great story. And so what I learned from this is, and then what you did, because you had this philosophy from your father where it was like a shoebox. You pay the bills, and then your profit you left here in the bank.
Yeah, you see all the properties and all
Right,
that.
right.
Because of my teaching.
Right. That's amazing. And let me ask you, how has your college and your preparation helped you with the business?
We were actually civil engineering is nothing but construction, and I was in the construction. I knew it. It was I was green, and somebody had to mold me,
Right,
and I had to do it myself.
right.
When I came here, if I was there, my brother would have helped me.
Right. So what would you when you decided to retire? Part of why you retired is you had a bad accident, correct?
No, I worked after that also.
Well, you still work, right? You
Yeah,
still
I
come.
still worked. I gave up because of my eyesight. And
From
I
the
couldn't
accident,
drive.
right? Is it from the accident?
Yeah, I lost my one eye,
That's terrible.
and I couldn't get the license because of one eye.
But you're very healthy, right?
So far, I'm okay.
And is some of that because you have you've lived a good life and you've had a great family and
Yeah, we didn't have problems. See, the thing is,
did you watch your diet?
no, my whole thing is how my parents brought me up. And I followed that. And I followed with the kids, and I hope they are following
Follow
now. My granddaughter, San Luis Obispo, this is her first year, and she's already got in so deep that she wants to do her masters
Wow.
and everything else.
That's great.
She's all set. And my son, who is a sportsman also, he's trying to he's in senior school year. Next year he'll be in college. And he's trying to do the same thing, go and get a degree, and
So it's all working.
it's so far so good.
So I think we're just about done for today, Jake. I was going to leave you with a couple things. Well, until we meet next week, think about for me what values you've talked about, a lot of them, and I know it's most of it is what you've got, but also what you feel like besides your values that you would want to say to Adam and Tammy and the grandkids and.
To tell you the truth, I brought them the way I want to, so there's nothing to say.
Okay.
because Adam is doing the same thing what I was doing.
Right. I'm saying just think if something comes to your mind, that's all. Not now, you can think about it, I'll be back next week.
Okay.
Okay.